Are we on? Uncle Henry here.
Through the years, I've always had the ability to put people to sleep when they listen.
Uncle Henry Internet Show, thank you for looking in tonight.
I think I was born unusually and uncomfortably personal. We're sending nasty jokes to each other over.
My mother's not a beast, damn you!
We worship the youth of our country. What about the elderly?
All right, look, calm down, because this is Facebook. This is different from real TV. Hang up on this guy, you sick freak! Turn the volume down on this. I'm not ready for that kind of garbage. The graphics working. Would you stop it? You scumbag prick! Dadgummit, I wish I could just... Thank you. Thank you. Shut up, please. Stop. 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 I haven't done anything worthy of applause yet. Please stop. Welcome to the Uncle Henry Internet Show here on Facebook. Tonight, a very special, wonderful program. We have as our guest tonight, Mobile radio personality, Ryan Pablo Foster. Yes, Ryan Pablo Foster is on tonight. And the musical guest tonight, a return appearance by Joe Shanabrough. And Joe has brought a shock surprise performer with him. That's right. Yes, don't applaud the surprise. You don't know what it is. You might be disappointed. But it's a shock. All right, now, before we go any further with the Ryan Pablo Foster probing interview, I want to thank all the people that have supported the Uncle Henry Internet Show. Your support is very needed. If we don't have support, it makes Johnny Gwin very sad. We've got, the only way we can continue this is if we can make it pay for itself. And we'd like to stay commercial free. So thank you so much to the support team of the program. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to thank the people that have donated to the program to continue its success. And congratulations to you for having good taste. These people are associate executive producers. Beth Holbert, Leah Brown, Bamba Big Man, Cindy Phillips, Kathy with the C Boyette, William Brooks, Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com, Laura Broadus, Gabriel Tynes, Wendy Jen, Alex Jensen, Dan Thompson. Thank you all for donating and becoming helpers to the program. Also, thank you to the newest associate executive producers, Shelby Mitchell. Shelby Mitchell, one of the most influential radio personalities in town. She's donated. Ron Reams, and now this is a big deal. Ron Reams on a fixed income. He's on a fixed income. I hope this isn't a sign that Ron is just donating money before the end. Also, thanks to Jeffrey Wimmer. He's a listener to my radio show that it's taken him like 3 years to warm up to me. And Philippe de Balzac. Thank you, Philippe de Balzac, for your donations to the Uncle Henry Show. Now, executive producers, these people have donated a ton of cash. Senior executive producer, Aunt Karen Simmons, I think of her in the business community as being on a high atop Mount Olympus, dribbling down a little cash to those of us at the bottom of the mountain. Thank you, Aunt Karen. Also, thank you to Cheryl Gwin, mom of Johnny. Wendy Lynn Norris. Thank you, Wendy Lynn Norris, so much. Noel Broughton. You know, I think I read his name in news stories recently about the Mobile business community. Noel Broughton. Thank you. And the newest executive producer, Josh Woods. Josh Woods. Now, this is a guy donating to this show. He's raising a gigantic family of little hungry children. And he's still taking some of his own cash to donate to the program. Thank you, Josh. By the way, at the grounds this weekend, there is a gun show. Going to be interesting to see the mood of the gun show. That's at the grounds Saturday and Sunday. Now, the next 10 supporters who donate over $20 will become associate executive producers. Could that be you? I sure pray that it is. We'll have on the screen throughout the program just internet addresses where you can dump your cash into the pockets of Johnny Gwin and Dan, the genius sound man, and Joe Shanabrough, and all of the people involved. Thank you so much for supporting the Uncle Henry Internet Show. My dream is to keep it going long enough so that we can do a Christmas show with Sock Cobb. That's my dream. Now, I'm about to bring on Ryan Pablo Foster, and as the tradition has been in radio throughout the years, instead of using his real name like I do, he used a fake name. He's Ryan Foster, but he went on the air as Pablo, which to me is not, no offense to Pablo before I bring him on, but not the best DJ name. I mean, Pablo, where did that come? Well, I'm going to be asking him, where did that name come from? Why not? I've got a list of names that I thought would be better DJ names, better than Pablo for Ryan Foster. Funky Foster, Bananas Foster, Flamin' Foster, Foster Love, Joe D. Foster, Ragin' Ryan, Rockin' Ryan, Rappin' Ryan, Record Rotator Ryan, Ryan Reverb, Lion Ryan, Father Ryan, Ryan Park, the Ryanator, RF DJ, the RF, Ryan Foster, RF DJ, the Rodman, that's always useful in any radio market. Ladies and gentlemen and non-gender specific viewers, please welcome Pablo. Pablo!
Thank you for having me. How are y'all?
Thank you for agreeing to be on the program. I love to talk to WABB folk because, of course, that's where I originated at WABB.
You and me both.
Now, the name Pablo. I
know.
I mean, there's all kind of Sandy Beach, Sunny Day, all these great names. Why? How did that happen?
That happened. Remember, at the time, it was for alternative station jocks. There was like Jed the Fish and Bubba the Love Sponge. It was cool to have a name and then some weird other inanimate object. So originally I was Pablo the Angry Man-Child. But that was a mouthful to spit out over Third Eye Blind records, so it just kind of became Pablo.
Already, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, now I remember Pablo the Man-Child. I don't remember the Angry Man. Now, where did that come from? The Angry Man-Child.
I think the angry part got added by Crash Connors. I could be wrong.
Really?
Remember him? Yes.
Crash.
Added the angry part.
Crash, who did Nights.
On WABB. Yeah.
Real name Chris F.
Yes.
Love
Same
Crash,
one.
by the way.
Great dude.
I don't know if he's watching tonight.
He's a hell of a DJ.
I love you, Crash. That's platonic.
Is it?
Hey!
I'm asking.
So Pablo the Angry Man.
Yeah, and the Pablo part came from the Jerky Boys. Do you remember them? The notable crank callers who put out filthy albums of crank calls?
I don't.
Surely you were a big fan of them.
I did not listen to filthy crank call records.
Well, they have one where they call a guy named Pablo and they mess with him, and my buddies and I repeated that bit back and forth to each other a lot. So Pablo Honey, same place Radiohead got the name for their album, Pablo Honey.
All right, how did you get into radio?
Well, as a kid, I grew up listening to the mighty WABB and listening to people like Leslie Fram and Dennis Stacy, the Hound Dog, all the Scott O'Brien, all the people that, were around in your early days, way back when. I grew up listening to them. I wanted to be one of them, especially Will Pendarvis, your old pal Will, who, am I correct in this, was one of the people who gave you your first bit of airtime. I think I might have heard you the first time when Will maybe drug you in to do something on his show one night on WABB.
Now, I'm supposed to be interviewing.
I'm asking you. I'm asking
All right,
you.
no offense to Pablo, but dadgummit, Pablo.
I'm just saying.
But yes, the first time I ever appeared on the radio, it was through Will Pendarvis, who's now still quite successful at Sirius XM.
Yep.
He's been in town a lot in the last couple of years. In fact, he's visited Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry.
Do we not have a bell we can ring for?
No,
Angelo
I just
and
wanted to
Ron?
mention, you think, why is he back in town? He was in town to shop for gold and silver. Now,
A wise move.
so Will Pendarvis, now,
I listened all the time. I was that kid. I was a radio nerd. I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever heard, and I wanted to be a part of it. And then one day, my mom worked for a company that was in the same building as Bay TV, and I found out that that's where they shot the Uncle Henry show on
Right.
Bay TV, the old cable access show. And I got my mom to take me, and we sat in your audience.
so wonderful. So you used to watch my old TV show.
I did. And I believe the episode that we came in was, I think you had Leslie Fram, and I want to say, was it Marvelous Marcel Pringle?
Yes,
On the same episode.
yes.
I'm in the
absolutely.
audience. If you dig around, if there's any cut shots of the audience, you'll see me and my mom in there.
I'm sorry, I don't
About
have,
13 years old.
there is no copy of that show in existence, and it's sad because that was a great show. Leslie and the wrestler, and it was our Christmas show. We were talking
right, it
about
was.
Christmas. Yes. All right, so but that you still haven't told me how you got in radio.
I got in radio. I decided, well, I would love to try this. I took a class through the University of South Alabama when I was in high school. The type of classes you can take during the summer, like photography or basket weaving. They had one that was Introduction to Radio Production. And it was put on by the guys at Soundworks.
Gary Mitchell. Okay.
And Dennis McKay. And I was fascinated. I saw the big mixing boards and the giant reel-to-reel machines, and I went through the little 6-week class and thought, well, maybe I need to try to go to work at a radio station. And I asked them, and they said, yeah, you should. And so I went and applied at WABB. And my grandfather had really instilled in me that if you really want something, keep pushing, be aggressive. So I called and followed up every single day on the request line. I didn't know the difference between the request line to the DJs and the business office.
Right.
And at the time, Hot Ron Anthony did middays, and Marathon Mike did afternoons.
Yeah.
I pestered them nonstop on the request lines until one of them told me in very explicit terms to stop calling, that he did not have the ability to hire me and to leave him alone. And I thought I had blown my shot, so I stopped calling. And about a week later, I got a phone call from Shane McBride and Tim Camp, who were running WABB AM, the talk station, and they needed somebody to run the board for the NASCAR races and that football team.
Okay. All
It
right.
hurts me to say it. You know, I'm a Bama fan, but that team was their affiliate at the time, so I had to run the board for Auburn football.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right,
it
so-
hurt, but I was willing to pay that price to get the experience to be around legends such as yourself.
See, this is good for any young person that's being forced to watch this, because you have to have grit. See, that was gritty to come in at
Was
the
it
bottom.
gritty?
Yeah, that's gritty to come in and have to run the controls for Auburn football.
Yeah.
Back then, especially, it was just awful. It really was.
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to the man. I did get a little cocky at one point, and there was some game I was running the board for, and it went something like, and he's got it, he's at the 30, the 20, the 10, and I just turned it off.
What?
And I waited until they were about to do the kick and potted it back up onto the air. And
Pablo.
one person called and was like, I know what you did. Don't you ever do that again. And the guy was really, really mad. So I apologize. That was wrong of me to do.
Wow.
But roll tide.
This is part of the, you wondered, the angry man-child. This fits.
That's right.
All right, now I've got lots of questions, but you did send some pictures over. Let's look at some of the pictures because they will stimulate conversation.
I didn't know there was going to be this much stimulation on this show.
Well, I try to keep it as low
All
as
right.
possible. So now this is you
That is me.
as looking like a pro, like a professional
Well,
person.
I know we're not commercially sponsored on the show, but shout out to Tony Riles. She took that photo of me. That's one of my acting headshots when I act.
Have you been in some TV or movies?
I have a movie that I did a few years ago that was shot here in Mobile that'll be coming out in the fall. We're not sure exactly, Netflix, Amazon, some sort of digital delivery. It will be coming out. And I did a couple of commercials with someone you hold in high regard, but I can't reveal what it is, but you'll know it when you see it. And those should be coming out nationally here in the next
Nationally?
Yes.
You're going to be in some national commercials?
in the next month or so.
With somebody I hold in high regard?
Yes.
So
Very
it's
high
got-
regard. Yes.
That would be Nick Saban. You're in a commercial with Nick Saban.
Do you hold only Nick Saban in high regard?
Well, who else would be national that I hold in high regard?
You don't know. There could be tons of people. There could. What if I'm in something with Mitch McConnell?
Well, that's not. I don't want to. Well, that's not good.
I'm just saying.
No
I'm
offense.
just saying.
No offense to Republicans or Democrats, but
It could be someone else you hold in high regard. I'll put it that way. You'll
All
know
right.
it when you see it.
all right.
You'll know
Look,
it.
for
Yeah.
future guests, if we get donations and can continue this, please don't come as a guest and have secrets. Don't do that.
I can't.
It's not good.
I'm not allowed to say these things.
What about the movie?
The movie is called Here Comes Rusty. That I can talk about. That movie.
Rusty who?
Rusty is the name of the rabbit that the dogs chase at a dog park. It's kind of a traditional thing. They call the rabbit Rusty. The little rabbit that hangs on a pole as it goes around the track. The dogs chase it. It's a pretty funny little comedy starring the late, great Colonel Bruce Hampton, the late Fred Willard, Joey Lauren Adams, Lance Nichols, Paulie Litt, Judd Lorman, who you might know from SEAL Team on CBS. He's in it. And a lot of locals from here in the Mobile area.
Well, okay, well, good.
Yeah.
See, now that's semi-legitimate. That's good. All right, now, the next photograph that we can, all right, that's me and you.
That is me and you. That's Bayfest.
Oh, it is?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, well, I have no memory of that.
Well, obviously you're smiling. I mean, that's rare.
All right.
So obviously, was that the year they booked Glenn Miller? I mean, because
All right,
something
look,
would have made him
don't,
smile.
All right, stop.
I mean-
I've enjoyed contemporary music at Bayfest. In fact, I very much enjoyed when Smokey Robinson was there.
Well, it's Smokey Robinson, of course. Who wouldn't?
All right, I don't want to see me. Move on to the next picture. All right, that is the staff of WABB.
When we were all thin and had hair. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm wearing a hat for a reason. I gotta have my Corona cut. Yeah, that was our crew circa, I want to say maybe 2001, 2002.
All right.
Somewhere in there.
2001,
2002, I would say.
Wow.
2002.
See, now it's 2020. In 2020, there probably aren't any radio stations in the country with that many people.
That is a guarantee. That is a
It's
guarantee.
just the way this is unfortunately the way it is.
This is equivalent to the entire air staff of Sirius XM right now. Yeah.
All right, and wait, go back to thank you. Oh, there you are. I lost you.
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
hiding
crowd.
out in the back here.
All right,
Yeah.
next photograph.
The Wabbit.
All right, Johnny Gwin was looking for a picture of the Wabbit suit, and that's the best he could do. Now,
Yeah.
did you ever have to wear the Wabbit suit?
I wore that specific Wabbit suit a few times. Yeah. It was nightmarish. It had a bit of an odor inside, BO, because many people had worn it before. It was kind of a rite of passage at the radio station. If you were an intern or a part-timer, a little high school kid that was getting their first chance, you kind of had to pay your dues and wear the mascot suit out on location at a car lot in August when it's 105 degrees out. And it's a little gamey in there, and old beer and weed smell, and I mean all sorts of smells.
Look,
Smells galore in that thing. But it was an iconic local thing. When you saw the Wabbit, you knew something special was going on.
And I was never asked to wear the Wabbit. I was never asked to wear the Wabbit suit. Now, should I
Consider
feel...
yourself lucky.
Well, yeah, but should I feel good
Yes.
that I didn't get asked, or should I
Yes.
feel sad that I don't share that with other
No, because
luminaries?
that means they held you in high enough regard that you did not need to pay those dues. So take that as a compliment.
Okay, well, good.
There you go.
Now, I feel good about that
Yeah.
finally. Now, who were some other people that wore the Wabbit? Did Will Pendarvis ever wear the Wabbit suit?
I want to say he did, but I wasn't around. So I don't know for sure, but he may have.
Do you know any other people you can name that wore the wabbit suit?
I think Matt McCoy did a few times, but he's a furry, so it's kind of something he would like to do anyway. I think Rod may have, or Rodman,
The Rodman?
the Rodman who's called in. I think he wore it a couple of times, again, just for pure personal pleasure. But other than that, I'm not sure. There's a roving cast of people who wore it.
Was there how long did you work there?
I worked there beginning in 1991.
Wow.
Off and on, had a little stint where I went in the military, but even when I was only a few hours from home, so I'd come home like every other weekend, and basically just hang around the radio station for free, even though I wasn't getting paid,
Right.
and I'd end up doing work anyway, all the way up until 2004.
So how many years is that? I don't have math skills.
Roughly 13 years.
13 years.
Roughly, yeah.
All right, magnificent. Now, 13 years of morning shows. Well, before we get to that, so in the 13, was at the end of your stint, did that still exist?
Yes.
It did?
Yes, that suit head actually exists today, and I know where it is. I actually know the location.
Where is the wabbit?
To the best of my knowledge, that is at the Mobile History Museum.
Oh, well, good.
Yes, because the building was destroyed and razed, and those things, a lot of those items found their way to the History Museum. What they'll do with it, I don't know. Time will tell.
All right, so it's not on display?
Scaring children of the Gulf Coast for ages to come, yes.
It's not on display?
I don't believe so, not yet. Maybe they're working on a grand exhibit or something. I don't know.
All right, now
I think that's where it is.
God bless our public servants with the History Museum.
Yes.
I'm sure you do fine work. One day, maybe I'll visit. But come on, the wabbit. Come on, the wabbit suit. That deserves to be, if there's something Confederate that you're afraid to show, replace it with a wabbit.
There you go. That's a great way to solve that.
Or put the wabbit head on Admiral Sims.
He may be the only Mobilian who didn't wear it.
All right, now I recognize the people in this picture, Shelby Mitchell, Matt McCoy, and you. What is
Yes.
the occasion?
That correct, I could be wrong here, but I want to say that Matt and I, we have a DJ company, Party People Entertainment. Ding, ring the bell for us. We DJ parties, weddings, events, corporate things.
Been slow during the pandemic, huh?
Yeah, we haven't done anything since like February. Wow. And thankfully we can move those things off for weddings to come.
And
But
so you were
this was a few years
DJing
ago.
her wedding?
No, we didn't do Shelby's wedding to the firemen. This was, I believe, one of their St. Jude fundraiser balls that they do around Mardi Gras for St. Jude. And Matt and I came and DJ'd. And Matt usually acts more as the MC, so he'll dress up, whereas I spin the records and deal with the lights and stuff. And I believe Shelby was kind of the host MC for the evening. I think she and Bill Black were handling that.
Okay.
Or maybe her and Dan Brennan, I'm not sure. So, but yes, that was a wonderful event, and we've done it multiple years, and it's always a blast.
You look thrilled in the photo.
Well, I usually do.
All right, next picture. Now this,
Oh, my boys.
I know this. This is you, Matt, Jay, and Lil Joe.
Yes.
Tell the viewer the occasion of that photograph.
That photograph was, I want to say, right as maybe the day after we found out that the building that you see here in the background, this is 1551 Spring Hill Avenue, at the corner of Spring Hill and Catherine. Home of the old Freeman House was right here. WABB was here. And the station got sold in 2012, 2013. I want to say this is just 2-3 years ago. And we found out that the property itself had been sold, and they were going to tear the building down. So we went by just to take some pictures in the parking lot for one last hurrah, and just kind of hung out for a few minutes and reminisced, and just kind of said goodbye to the old girl. So,
What were your emotions when the building was knocked down? Did you have any?
I did. It's sad to see something that was a big part of your life go, kind of like a childhood home in a lot of ways. You know you can't stay in it forever, and that reality takes place. The building was old. It had a lot of structural issues, things of that nature. I get that. It couldn't really be repurposed for modern things without a whole lot of money being spent, but you just kind of hope they had found one reason to keep it. So it's sad to see it go, but ultimately life is what it is.
How about that? Some insights from Pablo. Insights.
That might be the most insightful thing I've ever said.
He's not as shallow as we all thought. Now, wait a minute. Go back to the other
What
picture.
was that? What on?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
I want to talk before we go into further pictures about the WABB mystique.
Okay.
What you were insightful before talking about the building being torn down. Maybe you can go even deeper.
Okay.
The mystique of WABB. What is it about WABB that was so special? You know, when they signed off,
Right.
when they turned the dadgum thing off,
Mm-hmm.
I'd left there in the 90s, and I was emotionally overwrought for like a week.
You left in 1995.
It was, what do you have, a diary?
No, I'm like the unofficial historian of that station. Yeah.
But when they turned it off, even though I didn't listen to it anymore because the music was awful.
You're welcome.
You weren't there. It was all these young people named Flip Flop. What was the guy's name? Flip Flop?
Flip-flop? What are you talking about?
Well, there were people, I didn't know those people on there anymore. But it's still, I was overwrought with emotion when they turned it off because it was so important in my life, and I hated the fact that that wasn't continuing. I wanted to
Right.
see continuity,
Yes.
just like I'd like to see our country continue. What were your emotions when they turned it off?
I remember exactly where we were. We were at an after party at O'Daly's on Dauphin Street. Thanking Matt Lamond and the crew for having us out for that. We did our thing, and a bunch of us, a lot of alumni from the radio station, a lot of fans sat around, and they had it piped through the building, and we sat there and drank and laughed and told stories and cried when they finally turned it off. I shed a tear. I really did. When they played Stuck in Mobile with Memphis Blues again, the first song ever played on WABB FM, and the last.
So Pablo making an intimate revelation tonight on the program that he shed a tear, that he wept. And I now feel empowered by Pablo to make a similar intimate revelation that I also wept.
Oh,
I also wept. In fact,
this is why we're friends.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Come on, Unc. Come on.
the reason I didn't go to that gathering is because I was too wound up emotionally to attend.
Yeah.
Very sad.
I 100% understand that. There were times I wanted to leave because I knew I was going to cry and I was going to get emotional, and yeah, I wanted to duck out the back a few times.
All right, so insight. What's the
Here's why we
mistake?
cared. It was such a powerful medium at the time. You had no internet.
True.
And I know a lot of younger people will not really, they can never grasp it. They've always had the internet. They've always had social media, things of this nature. But back then, radio was your social media. It was where you heard the latest rumors on this. You heard the latest funny joke about that. You heard the news. You
The
heard
high
the
school
weather.
kid would call the DJ. The DJ
Yes.
might even record it on reel to reel.
Yes.
That was me pantomiming a reel to reel. They would call and you might hear your friend on the radio.
Giving you a shout out or
Yes,
a dedication from somebody who had a crush on you. Those were really big, epic moments in a teenager's life at the time. And
I apologize. My phone just went off.
I think Uncle Henry has stalkers. sending him-
Dadgum social media.
You have stalkers checking you out during the show.
God, Lord, please help me with life in general.
Go
All right,
on.
now you were
Do your
giving deep
thing.
insight about why Now you've told
Well,
people
well,
why
and what you-
radio
well,
was important.
right, that is
But what
important.
about WABB? Because there were
Okay.
other radio stations.
Here you go.
People didn't have the same feelings about Wooney.
That's true. That is true. WABB really captured the vibe of Mobile. It really did. Musically, it was involved in everything. I mean, from the fishing rodeo to the fair to, anything. Bernie Dittman, who owned the station for its entire span up until his death, was hell-bent that you will go be part of the community that we serve. And we're doing that, but we can put a fun spin on it. We can be entertaining and do our public service, which is why the FCC gave you a license. you can do both of those things, and he wanted you to push the envelope of what was possible with that. You know, Bernie would be more upset with you to not try something than to go out and try something and walk out on the edge of a limb and you don't know how to get back, and then you, I don't know, I screwed it up. He'd rather you go and screw it up than not try at all. And so it was groundbreaking. He took the challenge of hiring people who he saw some potential in, people like Scott Shannon, Leslie Fram, Lee Chestnut, people who went on to do great things. Lee Chestnut, producer of The Voice on NBC, he's a big timer, used to program VH1. These are people who he took a chance on the little guy and gave them their shot. You talk about somebody who empowered women. Leslie Fram became one of the most powerful women in the music industry, and still is in a lot of respects. She's with, I believe, CMT now. And she's from Fairhope. You know, Bernie gave her a shot, you know, when nobody was giving out those shots to women, really. And yeah, sure, here, take it, run with it. Go be great. And she was, you know. That type of ownership, that type of commitment to the community, those things mattered. And a hell of a signal from WABB, the 100,000-watt blowtorch was what they called it. You could pick it up on Canal Street in New Orleans. I've picked it up at the Capitol Building in Montgomery, on Thomas Drive by Spinnaker and Club La Vila in Panama City. On a good day, it covered this huge region of the Gulf Coast, and so everybody stumbled across it at some point in their lives, you know?
There's a lot that we could get into, like Bernie Dittman, but we're going to keep looking at some of the pictures.
Okay.
Johnny Gwin.
Okay, yeah, now I want to know what's up with that.
All right, Johnny Gwin Googled your name, and this is the first picture that popped up.
Really?
What did you type in, Johnny?
Hang on.
Pablo, 92Z, WABB, Brian Foster, everything. That's the first.
All right, that is the first thing that popped up when he Googled you. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I mean, I am known to wear a ball cap from time to time, a jersey from time to time. I do break it down on the ones and twos. Don't use vinyl anymore, but I don't know. Been called a pussy a time or two. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Are there any other pictures?
There's more.
Oh, well, look. Before we get to, we're about to go to phones.
You can. So beyond there's more pictures.
Oh, more pictures after that.
Oh, wow.
All right, but look, before we go to this, though, Bernie Dittman.
Yes.
Now, we could do shows on Bernie Dittman.
Right.
Do you have a favorite story?
Favorite Bernie story? I would have to say one of my favorite Bernie stories, I'm sure Uncle Henry knows what I'm talking about. The viewer may not. There's a rap artist named Nelly, who was quite popular in the early 2000s. Uncle was a big fan. Uncle Henry loved it, but Bernie did not. And we were in the office one day having our music meeting, discussing which records we'd play or not play or play more of or less of. And he came in and goes, "What is this garbage you're playing? This is terrible. I hate it. Get it off my station." And it was a hit record. And you're like, what do you do? 2 weeks later, we're having the same meeting, and he comes in and goes, "You guys got to get your heads out of your butts and play that Nelly. That's hot. The kids love it. What's wrong with you? You're slacking." And that was how he liked to torture you, you know?
Now, I don't do a Bernie impression.
Bernie was about 78 at the time. So.
I don't do a Bernie impression.
Why not?
WABB played the hits.
It did.
And one day, Bernie came in when I was working there, and he said, "I was at Griffith Shell, and the guy pumping my gas said we need to play Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places."
Yes, yes.
And so the program director said, "Bernie, Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places it's a country song. We can't play it on WABB." He says, "The guy at the Shell station says we have to play it."
I'm pretty sure that was Preston Griffith.
So that went on for a few days, and so, yes, we played Friends in Low Places on WABB.
I was there.
Oh, you were?
I was there during that time. We also played Metallica and Mariah Carey and Jody Watley and all those things. It was a weird time. It
All right,
was
now,
weird.
Is there before we go?
Speaking of which, before we go any further, can I just note how similar this couch is to the couch that was in the upstairs restroom at WABB?
I never saw
Aside
that.
from the wooden
Never
rails,
went into that restroom.
it looks very, very similar.
Never went into that
Anyway,
restroom.
moving on.
That was
Moving
the
on.
ladies' room.
Moving on.
All right. Do you have any stories about Bernie's frugality? Because Bernie was known
Yes.
for being very frugal. That's how you accumulate cash in the world, is by being a frugal person.
Sure.
Do you have any frugality stories?
I do know that some of the engineering crew and some of the older members of the staff used to have a real good time taking crazy glue and nickels and quarters and dimes and crazy gluing them to the floor, and then watching Bernie come and try to pry them off the floor and get frustrated because he couldn't get them, to the point he would go get the maintenance guy to come with a hammer and chisel to get it up off the floor so that he could take that quarter or nickel or dime.
Okay. That is a sad frugality story.
Yes. But at the same time, he could be a really generous guy too.
Now yes, he could. There's another story of before I worked there. A famous story is that he got into fights with I think it might have been Lee Stamp, program director.
Yeah.
Bernie, instead of giving away pairs of concert tickets, Bernie wanted to give away one ticket and stop. The man was trying to make cash.
Yeah.
He wanted to give away one ticket and then sell the winner the other ticket.
I've heard of crazier things.
And the PD explained, no, Bernie, we can't do that. We can't do that. Now, my frugality story was that I was an eyewitness to. This was before the era of cell phones.
Yeah.
Bernie wanted me to go with him to visit a potential advertiser in downtown Mobile. Somebody was selling, it was like a salvage place where you could go in and buy old garbage at a salvage place. Mm-hmm. So we drove down Government Street. I don't know why we were on Government instead of Dolphin, but we drove down Government in his wood panel station wagon.
Yes, yes.
We drove down Government. We visited the potential client who we did close that deal. Then we drove back down Government Street. He got into the office. He ran over to his phone and picked up his phone and called a guy named Charles, who was a maintenance man, a man who did everything.
Extraordinaire.
He says, Charles, I saw a cardboard box on the corner of Ann and Government. Go get it. It was a cardboard box. He wanted that box.
Yeah.
It was just sitting there on the corner of Ann and Government. He was a frugal person.
Yes, and shout out to Charles Williams. Rest in peace. God love him. Wonderful human being.
Charles was there often. Now,
Matter of fact, speaking of Charles, here's another story relates to what you're talking about. Going to do a remote, and Charles and I were going somewhere in the Denim Machine, which was a 1976 van. This is circa 97, 98, right? I had the traditional radio station garb on. If you're going to go out and do a public appearance, usually wear a station T-shirt or something with the station logo. And the Denim Machine broke down, as it was wont to do. And so we fooled with it, and so we got dirty because the T-shirts were white. So all of a sudden I have grease and stuff all over me from fooling with the Denim Machine. And so we limp it back to the radio station, because we're only a few blocks away, and go back in, and I said, and Bernie just happened to be there. And he was so frugal, he locked up all the giveaways in the prize closet that no one had a key to except him. And everything was stored in there. And he just happened to be there. I said, great, Bernie, hey, I got my shirt messy, but we got to go to a thing. Do you have any more T-shirts? Can I get another one? He goes, hang on. He goes into the prize closet, comes back out with a shirt from the Azalea Trail Run, which WABB sponsored, so it had like the logo on the arms and stuff. From the Azalea Trail Run, 1982. That shirt, and boxes of them, just like those, had been sitting in that closet for 16 years.
All right, now
There was a time we went to the back, we were looking for prize giveaways for something else, and there was this giant pallet of stuff under a tarp. And we were looking around, this is in the back of what used to be the Freeman house. And we're like looking around, and I finally lift this thing up, and we're like, what is this back here? It was a pallet full of PlayStation 2s that had been given through some sort of deal to be given away. And this is like long after the PlayStation 2 had had its big debut. It was like, why did we never know that these were here to give away? Why didn't you tell us? And they go, well, I don't know if I want to get rid of them. You're 78 years old. What are you going to do with a bunch of PlayStation 2s? Like, sling them on eBay? Like,
All right,
who knows?
we're running
Anyway.
late, but I've got to try to top the
Okay.
story. The prize closet. You just heard Pablo talk about things being ancient in the prize closet. I'm working at WABB, and there was a hit song from Julian Lennon,
Yes.
son of John Lennon.
I remember when he came to the station.
And Julian Lennon came, so you can probably tell this story. You know what I'm about to tell people. Julian Lennon comes in, and he's on the morning show with us. Had a wonderful time meeting Julian Lennon. Bernie Dittman comes into the hallway with a cardboard cutout. And he says, hey, Julian, here's your dad. It was a cardboard cutout of John Lennon from when the Beatles played in Jacksonville, Florida. He had kept cardboard
Yes.
cutouts of the Beatles
Yes.
from the 1960s.
That are worth insane amounts of money. Yes. I went, you remember Wayne Coy came in after you left.
Yes.
Wayne was one of the bigger Beatle fans I've ever seen, and Bernie did that to him when they were talking about the Beatles one day. And he brings out, and it's the 4-person stand-up, and Wayne told him, he said, Bernie, if you'll let me have that, you cannot pay me for 6 months. And I'm not kidding. And Bernie goes, well, no. And just put it back in the prize closet. Threw it, and not in a protective sheath, not with a cloth over it to keep it from getting damaged. Just threw it in there. That was how Bernie rolled.
All right, we could go on and on
Yes,
and
we
on
could.
and on, and maybe we will in a future show. Before we go to the phones and look at more pictures, one of the things that DJs understand is that back before computers, if you were doing your DJ shift, you needed to play a long song to go to the bathroom. Some songs, and in fact, it must have been terrible during the Beatles era when songs were 2.5, 3 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got a list here. These are the best DJ songs to play when you have to take a bathroom break at the radio station. Of course, the live version of Freebird
Oh, yeah.
tops
Without
out
a
at about
doubt.
14 minutes.
Yeah.
American Pie, Don McLean. Stairway to Heaven, of course.
Yes.
Too Legit to Quit
What?
by MC Hammer. Yeah, people don't realize it. That's about an 8-minute song.
The dance mix, yeah.
Yes. Green-Eyed Lady by Sugar Loaf is quite long. Hotel California, of course,
Yeah.
never would have been a hit if people didn't have to go to the bathroom.
True, true.
Layla, of course. If you wonder, why did you hear Layla so much in the 80s in Mobile? Bathroom breaks. Paradise
And
by the
weed, yes.
Dashboard Light by Meatloaf, yes.
Correct.
A lot of loaf in this list. Any side of any Pink Floyd album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because when you play Pink Floyd, people don't know when the songs start and stop.
yeah.
They're on LSD anyway. Thriller by Michael Jackson, also long.
About 8 minutes, yeah.
For the country, if you love country music, My Home's in Alabama by the group Alabama is deceptively long, perfect for going potty. And Wet Willie's Weekend,
Yeah.
the original album version, almost 6 minutes long.
That's right.
So you can weekend do what you want to do when you want to do.
And want a poo. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right, now,
Oh, don't forget the album Cut of November Rain by Guns N' Roses.
well,
8.5 minutes.
there's a lot of long, terrible songs we could go through. Now, we are going to go to the phones at some point, but there's another picture or two. This.
Oh, wow.
Who are
Yeah.
these people?
Oh, come on. You know half of these people. Come on. That is the legendary Sam Cochran. Was at WABB. I believe he's out in Texas now. He's still around. Michael Stewart, who is actually does the Sunrise Show with another WABB alumni, Kevin Peterson.
And Michael Stewart, love Michael Stewart.
Yes.
What a great guy. Lives in Atlanta.
Right outside Atlanta, yep. Myself, Tim Camp, and then Shane McBride, looking, I don't know what he was doing with the facial hair at that point. Shane, tend to it.
Give him a break.
Tend to it.
Give him a break.
And then the legendary Hot Ron Anthony. Yeah. That
Hot Ron
was,
Anthony.
and if you look closely, there was like Marty Martin's floating around in the background somewhere. There's Ron Raines. Look, there's Ron Raines. Ron Raines hiding in the background. Yeah. So.
That's another cue for you to donate, Ron.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Ron.
Is there another? Now,
Oh, dear God.
all right, what is this?
That's something, that's a show we used to do on YouTube, myself and, come on, bring him in. Come on. Hop in.
Oh, the
hop
Rod
in.
Man.
He's actually here.
He has no microphone.
He has no microphone, but he'll get,
I can get close.
it'll get weird. Yeah. Yeah, it's a show we did on YouTube for a while.
Rodman, you look like David Lee Roth Jr.
Pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
I'm here for the roast of Pablo. That's
Oh,
what we're
God.
here for, right? It's the roast.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Do you have things you want to say?
Well, I just want to say, many know Pablo in the radio, industry, and the radio personality, morning show producer. But some people don't realize he was the music programmer as well as in charge of the intern program. So there's no wonder that a lot of the interns had top songs on the top 8 at 8. So, yeah. And then also, I just wanted to say Pablo is to radio what Denzel Washington was to radio.
Very nice. Very nice, Rodman.
I'm going to take it as a compliment. You know what? I'm going to take it as a compliment. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, you two, what brought you two together?
Well, we worked together. We worked against one another at competing radio stations over years, and then he came to work with us at WABB for a while. And when I finished my terrestrial radio career, I went and did marketing with Rod at a company over in Daphne, a Cyclops paper, and we ended up doing this little YouTube thing for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't last, and then we ended up doing a little online radio station, and that didn't last, and so now we do another one called Hangout Radio.
Yeah.
So,
We were all over the United States just doing conventions and shows. It was crazy.
Where can people hear you online?
that is hangoutradio.com or the mobile apps, free mobile apps on both app stores.
Hangoutradio.com. Now, the focus tonight is on Pablo.
Why are you sweating on me?
But
I'm so excited to see you, dude.
There's COVID in the world.
It's been a long time since I put this on just for you. This has been a long time, man. We're back together. We're getting the band back together, dude.
I tell you what,
It's gonna be awesome.
as interesting as you are, Pablo, it's hard to not just stare at Rodman.
That is true. That is true. I am the Laurel to his Hardy. Yeah.
You can't have Silent Bob on without having Jay come, can you?
I don't even know that reference. All right, but it's Rodman. We're getting close to the end of the show. We could do another hour with Rodman.
You could. You could.
I would not be anything without this guy. I just want to say this guy has done more for me in my career, and I want to say that honestly, I'm here to support him. Honestly, all jokes aside, to support him and thank him for the time at WABB and the radio career and everything we've done afterwards. He makes me look good, so.
Look, you're welcome, and you still need to pay me back that bail money.
Yeah, I know. His ankle monitor's still on.
All right, well, get out of here. Get out of here. We got to take phone calls and stuff.
All right,
We got to do the.
all right, Rodman, thank you, Rodman. Cameo from Rodman. Rodman. There may have to be a future show where I probe Rodman. I want to know.
That's how you get clicks in this day and age.
Hey,
my
I want to
friend.
know. When that guy walks into a doctor's office looking like that, what happens?
Right.
All right. Are we ready to go to the phones? Do we have more pictures? What's the plan here? All right, we're going to go to the phones. If you have any questions or comments for Pablo Ryan Foster, and I now see that we didn't have enough time to get to all that we need to get to. We didn't even scratch the surface of your time at the zoo, all the people you worked with at WABB. So let's.
We can do this again another day.
All right, that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing.
There you go.
That would be a wonderful thing.
Oh, speaking, I'm getting a call, so I need to take this. So you take a call, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, do your thing.
That's fine. All right, we're going to go to the phones. You see the number there. Please try to be as good as you were with Ronnie Arrow. We had better calls during the Ronnie Arrow show than we did during any of the other shows. All right, do we have callers?
Right.
Hello, caller.
Right.
Hi.
All right, I'm not getting any sound over here. I can't hear the calls that are coming. Caller, hold on. I'm not getting any sound out of my monitor here. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. Tonight's show is awesome. Mr. Pablo is awesome.
Well, yes, thank you.
Where is he?
Pablo is off camera right now, or he was.
Where'd he go?
He's around. Just trust.
He's.
Yes?
You say he's around?
He's around. Yes, he's here.
You know who else is around? Your big fat mama.
All right, look, I couldn't even understand whatever it was you were, other than the fact you were trying to take advantage of this show to attack my family. So you're sick, and you know you're sick. You know, you've called here before, I think. One day we're going to get caller ID if enough people donate. We're going to. And you know what? In the spirit of modern America, I'm not going to call the police when we find out who you are. Instead, we're going to put masks on, and we're going to show up in your front yard with a bullhorn.
Fair enough.
All right, back to the phones. Hello, caller.
Hey, Unc.
Hello? Yes.
Is your refrigerator running?
Would you cut that out, Pablo? Cut that out.
That was like my favorite thing to do when I was a kid, is to crank call your show.
Well, wait a minute.
Now,
You never told me this.
now I've gotten
You never told me
to
this.
be on your show and crank call you on your own show while I'm on your show. So life goal complete. Thank you, Unc.
That's the circle of life for freaks.
However, it is shameful the way they talk about your mother.
It is.
Shameful.
It is.
Shameful.
All right.
Bunch of miscreants.
All right, back to the phones. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Pablo.
Hey.
Hey, are you familiar with that song, Fat Bottom Girls?
Yeah, by Queen. Great tune.
Feel like that was written for Uncle Henry's mama. Or
What's going on? What's going on?
Just shameful.
Cut it out. Hang up on that guy. Don't you, you know, she's still alive. She is still alive, and sometimes she comes in and out of consciousness. Sometimes she hears this. You sicko.
Terrible.
All right, back to the phones. Hello. Hello, caller.
Good evening.
Norman. Thank the Lord.
Now there's a good caller.
Yes.
Well, you know, all this time I thought Pablo was a little Mexican fella. I didn't know you were a white boy.
Well, my
know
great grandmother was Spanish. That's about as far as it goes.
Very good.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Now the other sidekick there, the Rodney fella, I remember him when he was a little young fella, and he dressed about the same. He used to have a big old mullet and listen to Van Halen, and this was like way in the early 80s.
Norman knows.
Oh, wait a minute. You knew the Rodman when he was the Rod Boy?
Yeah, well, actually, you know, oddly enough, I went to church with him and his family back there in the early 80s. You know, he was a fine, upstanding citizen, you know, when he was a young man.
You said he wait a
I don't
minute.
know.
Wait a minute. Because you just said that he used to listen to Van Halen, and dadgummit, the guy looked at David Lee Rothish. Do you think that's what happened to him?
Well, I don't know. That might have been what twisted his mind. You know, rock and roll, it has a tendency to take some folks off the wrong path.
That's true.
Hey,
That's true.
Van Halen, Norman, Running with the Devil was their song. They ran with the devil.
Well, it don't, I always say, pray for the country. You got to pray for these young people like Rodney. I don't know what the deal is with that outfit that he's wearing, but
It's antisocial.
anyhow,
Did he just call Rod young?
No, he did not.
I did. He's a young fella. He's young. Y'all are all younger than I am. Y'all are younger than Uncle Henry and me. We're a little up in years, so. But anyhow, enjoying the show and roll tide.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Norman.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you so much for a real caller, a real person.
Yes.
Let's go back to the phones. Hello. By the way, Joe Shanabrough will be performing in just a few minutes.
Hello?
With a shock surprise guest. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
How you
Hello.
doing?
Can you hear us?
Hey, Mom and them.
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello. Hello, lady.
Hello?
What's your question?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hang up on that woman. Hang up. Look, there's somebody that does have trouble communicating with us. I think that was a copycat. Somebody mocking that old lady. How
Shameful.
dare you mock that old lady? What is it about you that are watching this that want to lash out at older women?
Yeah.
Back to the phones. Hello.
Miscreants.
Hello, caller.
Hello? Did I
Yeah.
get through?
Hello, what? Hang up on him. Hang up. Hang. All right,
I count 11. I counted 11.
all right, explain what that was.
That was a classic contest that used to run on WABB. When you'd hear the signal to call, you'd be the 9th caller through, 10th caller, whatever, and you would then be timed. You'd have 10 seconds to say WABB as many times as you could within 10 seconds. For every time you could, you won $10. So 11 times, you'd win $110.
We ain't paying nobody nothing.
No, that she was just bringing up the old stuff. Johnny Gwin definitely can't afford that
We don't
without
have
you
enough-
donating. So again, donate. But that was the contest, and so you would practice how fast you could say WABB, 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 WABB. That was what we did as a kid to try to get a chance to win.
All right.
What are we hearing?
My 10 Commandments clock just went off because it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, it's time to go
All
to
right,
bed.
look.
Yep.
And if there's any young person being forced to watch this, that contest he described, it was a lot better than it sounds.
It was.
It really was.
It was.
I know it sounds really stupid, but back in the day, that was entertaining. Do
We
we
should
have?
do an Uncle Henry version of that. Every time they
No,
can say
wait,
Uncle
no,
Henry.
no. We don't have nothing to give out.
Next week starts a drinking game.
Oh, Uncle Henry drinking?
Would you two let me in on the
okay.
conversation? I need to ask the producer, Johnny Gwin, how much longer do we take calls before we go to Shanabrough?
2 more calls.
All right.
Only 2 more calls. How about that? Well, and there are people saying, "Oh," but do these people deserve more calls after what they put us through already?
Yeah.
Joe's gonna warm up anyway, so
All right, we'll take more. All right, we'll take more if they can be nice. All right, hello, caller. Hello. Would you hang up on that person? Hang up on him. And they were saying, "Oh, we need more of this." All right, Next caller. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Henry. Hey.
Reagan girl.
Yeah.
Hey, you are having a great show this evening.
Thank you.
And, well, Pablo,
Yo.
good to hear from you again.
Thank you.
Is there a way that you can try to improve Uncle Henry's taste in music?
What does that mean?
We could try,
Well-
but, you know, he has to be open to it. And if he's not open to it,
Yeah.
you're trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, you know? I know, I'm
Well,
sorry.
Uncle,
PG-13.
Uncle Henry, a couple of shows ago, he burned a Kiss album
I saw that.
on his show.
Oh, he chopped it.
Yes.
Well, we did. We burned and destroyed albums that deserved it. Yes.
That does not deserve
Public
it, Unc.
service to our country.
It doesn't. That's a great album, Unc. You're missing out.
And more than anything, he will not go with me to a Styx concert
What?
or a Def Leppard concert.
Why, Unc? Why not? Reagan girl will take good care of you.
Why not?
She's not going to corrupt you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Mr. Roboto.
Domo arigato. What's wrong with that?
Why would I want to see that?
Well, Tommy Shaw, Mobilian. Well, but still,
Yeah.
but he was with it when they made Mr.
All
Roboto.
right, stop.
Come on.
Look,
Yeah,
let's. This vexes.
Look, bottom line,
This vexes me.
take a date with Reagan girl, for God's sake, Uncle. Come
Reagan
on.
girl. Now Johnny Gwin isn't aware of this, so he'll learn now. But Reagan girl, you've been practicing a performance for this show. Will you tell the viewers about this?
Yes, we have been practicing, and we hope to take you up soon.
All right, now Reagan girl's a belly dancer. So we will have belly dancing on this show if Johnny Gwin and Dan and Shanabrough can figure out how to configure it. And it's tasteful, right? You don't undulate in a titillating way, do you?
That is correct. It is very proper belly dancing.
Proper. All right, well, Reagan girl,
Yes, nothing over sexualized.
good. We want to leach that out of it as much as possible. All right, Reagan girl, we're gonna move on, but we'll arrange that, and we look forward to having you here on the show.
Please take him to the show.
Sounds great.
Thank you. All right, bye, Reagan girl.
Then take him to a Rage Against the Machine show.
No, thank you. All right, back to the phones. Hello, caller.
They're no fun.
Hello.
Yeah, I got a question for Mr. Pablo.
Yeah.
Didn't you work at an alternative radio station?
Yeah, a couple of them. Anyone in particular?
Okay, well, since you're such an expert in this alternative music, could you suggest some rhythmic alternative music that Uncle Henry could play while he's doing it?
Hey! Oh, that's sick! You sick freak! What's the
Amos?
matter with this?
Amos Lee,
What the
Ben,
hey?
Ben Harper.
Cut that out!
What?
Cut that out!
They're good.
Cut that out!
They're good.
Cut that out! This is, you know what? I don't know why. You know, this was going
Amos
so
Lee.
well.
Amos Lee.
This was going well until the phones. A few more. Are we going to take a few more? Or we're going to get to Shanabrough. All right, let's take another caller. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hey, what's going on there, Uncle Henry?
Well, you sound normal, so thanks for calling.
Oh, well, no, I appreciate that. It's your old pal Sock Off. How's it going there, Uncle Henry and Pablo?
Hey.
Now, is this the real sock cop?
What? The last time I checked, yeah, I believe it's me. I haven't looked in the mirror, but I think I'm still me.
All right, well, so, wonderful to hear from you, sock cop.
I love Sock Cop.
Isn't he good?
Sock Cop is great.
Oh, smokes and shields. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, I just had a question for Pablo. I just wanted to ask if he believed in the Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch? I have
Yeah,
been
do you believe in the Sasquatch?
I have been in the presence of the Sasquatch.
You have not.
I have.
There's
The
no such
Sasquatch-
thing.
Oh, my goodness.
The Sasquatch was in Mobile last year, and I actually hung out with the Sasquatch and took Sasquatch to my kid's school. So shout out to Corpus Christi.
That is not.
Holy cow, this is like way more than I was bargaining for.
Yeah. It happened. It happened.
Wow.
This
Well,
is-
I would love to hear that story. I'll take my story off the air.
Okay.
Okay, well, good. Well, how about you listen to, what is it, Hang In There Radio?
Hangout Radio.
Hangoutradio.com.
There you go.
Go there for the Sasquatch story. Thank you, Sock Cop.
Okay.
Anything
I didn't
else?
know you already covered it.
Well, no, I don't want to hear.
No, that's it. Just just make sure you drive at a reasonable speed, and
We are.
everything's good.
Sock Cop, such a pleasure to hear from you.
All right, muchas field. Thank you so much for taking my
Thank
call.
you,
It's been
Sock
been a
Cop.
great show.
Well done.
Love
Have you a
Sock
good
Cop.
day.
Thank you, Sock Cop. And please,
Toodaloo.
toodaloo. And that's, by the way, an underused phrase in our country. And I don't want to get into a debate about Sasquatch. I'm so annoyed that that's still going on. Do we have any other callers before we go to Shanabrough? That's it.
All right.
All right, well, look, obviously, we needed more time.
That's okay. We can make time anytime you want, Unc. I am here for you.
Thank you for watching me as a little kid and then growing up to be on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for being there to be an influence for me to watch over the years and learn from you and learn what to do and what not to do.
All right, well, and you haven't really displayed that you've learned anything from me, but there's still time. You're a young
I'm trying.
man. All right.
I'm trying. Now, Unc, before I leave, can I make one suggestion? For upcoming shows, can we get Scotty White on this show? And also, you've had all these people from iHeartMedia, right? You've had Mary Booth, you've had Jonna, you've had Ariel, you've had the incredible Shelby Mitchell. When are you going to have the real heavy hitters of iHeartMedia on this show?
Who would that be?
Jeff Peacock and Scott Chestnut. Make it happen. They're the ones tending to your microphones. Matter of fact, you need to get Dan in here on this show one day. He needs to. The behind-the-scenes tech people deserve more credit than they get. So that's my request, is to give those people some time, some love. Not Ronnie Bloodworth, but Jeff Peacock.
All right,
Not
well,
the
look.
salespeople. They just make money. They just
All
make
right,
money. But the tech people, give them some love.
I'm sure, and I love all those people.
They're great.
I would love to have all those people on the show. If we can, maybe, 2022, whatever. But thank you. Pablo, Ryan, Pablo Foster. Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, brother. I love you.
All right, now, if
I'm
you
out.
will, yes, we have to make room for our musical
Yeah.
guest. Welcoming back to the Uncle Henry Internet Show, Joe Shanabrough. All right, now you're not on a microphone yet. So Joe Shanabrough is setting up. Now, where is the singer? Is the singer going to be on camera? Yes. Okay, so we're waiting. This is what, now this awkward transition could be smoothed out with more donations into the tip jar. If we had enough cash to actually have even more people and more equipment and things like that. So Joe Shanabrough now being set up for his guitar playing, and now we welcome his surprise shock singing guest, local musician, artist, Mardi Gras float designer, Brent Amacker. How about this? How about this?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Brent Amacker, you were performing recently with a band called Cypress Creek Band. Now, was that a deliberate effort to shut out Joe Shanabrough?
Well, yes, actually, yeah. Well, Joe and I have played in different bands together for on and off for 30 years. You know, we'll play for a little while and we can't stand each other and we just don't see each other for years. And then we'll run into each other at Mardi Gras or whatever and say, hey, let's get up and play some music and stuff. But now we try not to scrap. No, actually, Joe and I, we've played on and off with different groups together. And Cypress Creek Band, we've just had, you know, adulthood cuts into the playtime. You know, everybody's got their own lives and own things to do, and it's hard to get that many people together. You know, six, 7 people. You know, it's hard to get everybody on the same page. But this actually, Joe and several of his friends, probably 15 years ago, they had gotten together and you know, we're writing some new music. They were going to do kind of like a rock opera. It involved, you know, several, you know, prominent musicians like such as Will Kimbrough and different people like that that contributed to a lot of the music. And the song that we're going to do tonight is as part of this space rock opera. It's called Callisto, but it's actually written by Dr. Bob Gregory. He's a veterinarian, and he actually wrote this song. This is 15 years ago. This is the first time that this music has ever been played in public, and we just rehearsed it this afternoon before we came over here. So
wow! I mean, this show tonight, we had memories of WABB. We had a special appearance by the Rodman. Now, veterinarian written music. I mean, how many shows have veterinarian originated songs by people that don't get along over the course of years? Now, before you perform the rock opera song from the veterinarian, Joe's going to be playing the guitar masterfully. What is this egg? You're going to play an egg?
Well, it's just a rhythm thing, just for, you know, I'm not going to do it the whole time. We're just going to do it at a certain point just to keep us on tempo, because we've never done this song, so we're just going to, you know. This is just a little noise maker. It's just for rhythm. It's just like.
I like this. Is good. I didn't know people played the egg. This is
man.
Good.
I didn't bring the cowbell. Yes, normally I play more cowbell, but we didn't bring any more cowbell because this song doesn't really take it.
All right.
There are some other ones that are in this rock opera composition that probably do require cowbell. As a matter of fact, I think my Uncle Norman is actually singing one of the songs with them. I haven't confirmed that, but that is like going to be for a later show on the Deep Fried Studios.
Wow. Okay. Very good. All right. So, again, the name of the song, Callisto. Joe Shanabrough with Brent Amacker. Guys, take it away.
It's the century you've been looking for. Halt your search and seek no more. Close your eyes and take a ride with me. To a place in outer space, we'll escape this human's race. You and I will both be more than free. Past the planets and the satellites, let the stars guide our flight. Not much further for us to go till we reach Callisto. You know it never rains, sleets, or snows. Snap your fingers, there's a tropical ocean and mountain tops as far as I can see. It's one of many moons of Jupiter. You and I, we both concur. There's nowhere else we'd really rather be. Past the planets and the satellites, let the stars guide our flight. Not much further for us to go till we reach Callisto. So anytime you want to go, close your eyes and let me know. I'll be there before you fall asleep. It's a place in outer space. We'll escape this human's race. You and I will both be more than free. Past the planets and the satellites, let the stars guide our flight. Not much further for us to go till we reach Callisto. Past the planets and the satellites, let the stars guide our flight. Not much further for us to go till we reach Callisto. Till we reach Callisto. Till we reach Callisto.
Wow.
Joe Shanabrough, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful, beautiful guitar work. Beautiful singing. Now the lyrics, this veterinarian, big dope smoker?
Maybe. Like I say, it's all part of a large space opera thing that's, big epic
I
composition.
kept listening for dogs and cats, and it was all planets flying around the planet.
There is dogs and cats.
And cows.
On the studio version.
Oh, what? There's a studio version with dog and cat sound effects. All right, very
Yes.
good. All right,
True
very,
story.
very good. All right, wow. All right, well, the Bama Big Man wants more. Oh, we're running. Oh, no
Way
more.
over your time.
All right, well, look, Joe Shanabrough Brent Amacker, thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Fun. Little disconcerting when you were looking in my eyes, though.
I was trying not to look. So.
Well, he was looking in my eyes, and I had to turn away. All right, well, we're out of time. I'd like to thank Ryan Pablo Foster. I'd like to thank the Rodman. Of course, again, Joe Shanabrough for operating the phones and performing. Thank you to Brent Amacker for his singing. Thank you to Dan, the genius sound man. Johnny Gwin prepared the show while he was on vacation. Johnny Gwin just got back in town. He just got back in town. He prepared all of this while he was on vacation, toiling, unmedicated in the mountains. So again, if you want this show to continue, please donate something or we're not going to be able to continue it. Thanks again so much to you, the viewer, for watching. Thank you so much. Let's please now mercifully end the program. Goodbye. Turn it off. Don't make me get up and walk off. Is it over? End it while I'm sitting here. Just end it. Turn it off. All right, we're done. Thank you for watching. Dadgummit, I wish I could just...